There's only like one main road in Patmos, and we still managed to get lost and ended up hanging out with these goats. Welcome back to my series where I'm talking about all the Greek islands that I got to visit on my Celestyal Discovery Cruise Ship. In today's video, I'm taking you to Patmos. And in the Aegean Sea, it's really cool to see how close Turkey is to Greece within the sea. This strait just goes right in between the two, and they're like so close to each other. Patmos is another island where you're going to need to tender to the port. So you're gonna get a disembarkment number like this one, and it only takes you about 15 minutes or so to get over there. And once you're here, it's going to drop you right in the port. And this is like a port city, so there's a lot to do right around where you get dropped off by the cruise ship. A lot of people take an excursion to the monastery here. If you're not taking an excursion, just to warn you, there is going to be a huge line at the taxi stand, so I really suggest renting a scooter. There's like barely anyone on the road, and the island's pretty small, so it's really easy to get around. And the place we were going was Petra Beach, was only about 20 minutes away, but the taxi cabs were quoting me like crazy numbers. So we decided to skip eating here, and we decided to go on a hunt for a scooter. We found a bunch of rent-a-car spots, but a lot of them were already booked up, like people had already made their reservations, so they were out of cars. And we stumbled around the corner at this spot, Eris, and we ended up getting a scooter from them, and they were so cool. I really suggest getting a scooter from them if you go to Patmos. Their email and phone number on the sign there, but it's easier to show you where they're located by just showing you on Google Maps. So you can see here, it's right next to the port where you get dropped off by the boat. They gave us directions, so it would take us up to the monastery and some caves and some things, but I wanted to go straight to the beach. I had a one-track mind. So this is the part where we got lost. Basically, what had happened was we were looking for a big sign for Petra Beach. We thought it was going to be massive, but in reality, it was super tiny. It was the same size as like a small street sign. And of course, in Greece, there's no turnaround things. Like, it's just that one road. So GPS just took us a totally different direction. It's really as easy as going down this hill and going right over to that rock, but instead it was taking us up through the highland. We saw a bunch of goat farms, and then it dead-ended us right into the water. Like, what? What kind of GPSs are we talking here? And GPS is like, yeah, just keep driving. Just take a left over here and it'll take you right over to Petra Beach, which is all the way over there. But honestly, it was a beautiful drive. So we missed the sign for Petra Beach, but we saw wild goats, so it was totally worth it. Now we're on a little hike from where GPS kicked us out at the beach, and we're still going to make it to Petra. So unfortunately, by now, our 20-minute journey had turned into like over an hour, so the sun was starting to go down already, but it was still worth it. It's so pretty over here, and it's actually really affordable. They've got a little bar over here at Petra Beach. It's about €4 for a beer, maybe like $3.50 for a water. So it's pretty affordable prices here. They have some snacks and stuff as well. And then you can do chair rental, you can rent a kayak. They've got a whole bunch of things going on over at this beach. So I was really excited to go, but unfortunately, we didn't really get to partake in the beach part of it, but that's okay because even though we did dip our feet into the water just to say that we did, the main attraction that I was going here for was that big rock that I showed you at the beginning. So wait until you see this view because this was everything I hoped it would be. We got really lucky because we were really the only ones trying to climb up these rocks. There was another couple who came by later, but we were able to get a bunch of photos and I got a bunch of videos before they even made it up the rock. But look how blue the water is. And it's a legit cave, so you can go crawling in there. There's also other caves scattered throughout this huge rock formation. So if you go around the side there, you can actually go all the way to the top up here. And my friend said there was a little like water pool up there, but I was like, dude, that's stagnant water. I don't know if you want to be jumping in there. But see how it's really big, but it's really easy to climb. But I wanted to show you kind of how small he was in comparison to the rock. But it's really easy to climb up here. You just go right up the side and you get these really beautiful views of the water. And it was really windy, so the water was kind of making all these designs in the waves. So that was really pretty to just, we literally sat there and just watched that for a long time. Here's another photo of my friend just to show you like how massive these rocks were. And then if you go behind the cave, you can literally walk all the way around this big rock formation. So you can walk around and then come back to where I was earlier, and literally it's just one big loop. Spend as much time here as you want. And then it was time to jump back onto the scooter. This is me pretending I was driving. My friend drove the whole time and I just hung on to him for dear life, by the way. I'm not trying to front like I'm a scooter driver. But we made our way back to Patmos and we saw such cute souvenirs here. They have a lot of stuff. But as you can see, even if you don't go to the monastery or the beach, there is plenty to do just in the port city by itself. This goes on for like blocks and blocks, and they're all like cute, similar little vibes. In their little like city center, they had a free books booth, which I thought was so cute. I also thought it was interesting. It was in English. Maybe they're like, catering for the tourist, or maybe each side was a different language. I didn't pay attention that much. So as we were exploring, we caught this cocktail bar out of the corner of our eye because my friend really likes rum and he just saw this whole wall of rum up there. So we stopped in here for a drink and it was a whole vibe. And it was pretty like affordable too. Like wine was maybe $7. His rum was kind of expensive, but he had never heard of it. So that's why he wanted to try it. But they give it to you this cute little glass. And then they give you these little crunchy nuts as a kind of complimentary thing to go with your drinks. Then it was time to head back to the boat, and it was so pretty to see the city all lit up, and look how cool our boat looked out in the middle of nowhere. When we got back to the room, this little guy was waiting for us. I love how Celestyal does that. And we were starving since we hadn't eaten in the city, so here's an idea of some of the buffet that we got to partake in. And then we went to see these girls who ended up being our favorite performers of the whole trip, and we ended up going back there literally every night. I tried some really good Greek wine here, and then we went over to the nightclub to check it out, and there was a lot of people out and about. Here's my mudslide. It was like my dessert for the day, but Celestyal has a really fun club. They also have an outside area too, so you can kind of hang out outside and listen to the music as well. But we ended up getting another round and just hanging out here on deck and watching the moon. And that's about it for Patmos, so let's do a quick recap. This is a tender city, so you're going to have to tender on a boat to get to the city. They did have some really good excursions here for Patmos, so definitely look into those. The monastery seems to be the most popular one. It's nice because you get dropped off right in the middle of the city. It's definitely a port city. And if you're going to explore on your own, this place is great. The only issue is there's a lot of hills, but that's most of Greece, so you may know that already. So if you're going to rent something, this is a great spot to rent something and just explore on your own, because Petra Beach is so cool. As you saw, it's that classic pebble beach, and that lookout area is so cool, that little cave. And I didn't get very many souvenirs here. I just got a couple of magnets, and we had just drinks, no food. So that's an idea of what to expect for costs. If you're thinking about adding Patmos to your bucket list or the Greek islands in general, make sure you drop a blue heart in the comments. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask me there. I'll do my best to get back to you as soon as possible. But in the meantime, make sure you hit that subscribe, because tomorrow we are headed to Rhodes, and this medieval city, you're not going to want to miss it. If you want to see more of my adventures with Celestyal Discovery Cruise Ship, make sure you hit this playlist here. Otherwise, this is the video that YouTube thinks you're going to like the most. I'll see you there.